Hello, everyone,
Hello.
and welcome to the Ubisoft Gaming League. So let's start just with a friendly reminder that it's an employee league, not really sponsored by Ubisoft. It's for fun, but this time it's the world competition. I'm here with Jean-Benoît. I'm David. So Jean-Benoît, you're gonna cast with me one of the games tonight.
Yep.
Well, not tonight, this lunchtime. Depends where you are in the world, actually.
Yes, because those are the worldwide matches. So we have people from a lot of different time zones, of course, playing in this game, in those games. Yes. So it's gonna be exciting.
We have 2 games for you from 2 different players. Well, 4 different players because it's a 2-player game. So we're gonna start right away because we're a little late. So the first game is actually GRX versus Blue, so Terran versus Zerg. So we're going to start downloading on the Cactus Valley map. So
this is, I believe, from Group 3. I should remember this, but
all right.
So we see. No, I believe it is from Group 2, actually.
So as a Terran player yourself, just talk to us about this map versus Zerg. Like, tell us how you feel this is going to go. I have no idea who those players are, actually, or where they're from, so we'll find out. We've been told it's a great game.
Yes, so we have been told. So
tell us.
Actually, this is Game 3. So as an introduction to this matchup, this happens in Group 2, and this is a TVZ. We're at Game 3 already. So we
since it's a best of 3, it's the important one. So let's present the players already. So in the bottom right corner, we have as the Blue Zerg, JRX.
Gregor Arenstein, hailing from... I don't want to get this wrong, but some country in Europe.
That's pretty vague. That's pretty vague. On the top left side of the map, we have the red Terran, Blue from Team CTKI.
Yes. And
you know where he's from?
Yeah, he is from Ubisoft Pune in India.
All right. So an European and an Indian.
Yes.
Game starts. So as I was saying, while we have the little classic opening, what do you think about this map as in Terran versus Zerg?
Okay, so in TVZ, if you get an engage in the middle of the map against speedlings and banelings, it's going to get very tricky because the middle is very open. So it's a big map, an immense map, and you really don't want to get caught off guard like on such an open field. So usually, like I've seen people going with Hellion builds and to go very macro against their Zerg opponents.
We might have mech because we have Refinery first before Barracks in this game.
Yes,
so
already
it's
a strong
pretty early
sign.
gas for Terran.
Yeah,
we had a little extractor tricks from the Zerg who's going to actually pull first. So both players kind of aggressive actually.
Yeah, well, the reactor first could be a sign of either early aggression or reactored aliens, which can both be the case and sometimes. And the Zerg is going against Terran on a big map like this with a pull first, so he's probably trying to he's probably going to try to surprise the opponent, perhaps with a surge of links. But already we can see
we have 4 workers in the gas, which is one too many,
yep.
According to Blizzard itself. So officially, there has a little misstep there.
Yep. So we see the Zerg in the end going for the expand. So I wonder how many links the Zerg player will play here. Maybe he's expecting, you know, being able to defend against an 11-11.
Supplies blocks. So he started his second supply depot.
No, Terran is
well, he's no longer supply block. But
he's making the Reaper and he's making the second supply in order to make sure he won't be. And he's still mining gas, so even though the first Reaper is
6 workers inside 1 gas, this is actually pretty tense. He's thinking, I need to have 6 workers mining gas, but he didn't make the second gas geyser, so he already started.
Yes,
you guys are
Terran logic. No, in fact, what might have happened is the rally point of the command center must have been placed in the gas. But so here we see the first Reaper is going to go out on the map, maybe cross-spawn, maybe to the east here, trying to scout his opponent. Meanwhile, the Zerg opponent, his Zerg opponent, Blue, already knows that he's not in the bottom left, so he's going to try to scout other directions. We already have
8 workers inside that gas. It's going to be very hurtful.
Oh yes, still 6. But yeah, of course, it still hurts the economy of the Terran, especially when going for that early command center. And still not spending the gas. So we have 200 gas not being used here from the Terran player. And I'm really surprised that the factory has not been placed down yet.
If the Reaper is going to meet the Zergling.
Yep. And
But
it's an attack
they-
move, and it's gonna get
Yeah,
it.
they're gonna decide to engage. Zergling is just
Zergling running
find a
away.
base, but
No,
not
just
finding
let
anything.
me hide.
So
Why did I not learn
first kill of the
Sparrow?
game goes to Terran.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a huge advantage.
Yeah,
just
no,
kidding.
no.
It's actually half a unit.
Yes. In some ways, you can see it like that, indeed.
All right, so we're seeing like the Reaper is finally gonna find the Zerg base, gonna know what's up. He's gonna find the expansions already up. Well, maybe if he goes down, he's gonna get stopped by the Queens and Zerglings. We have, just
Almost
last second
dying.
reaction time.
And
No,
wow.
I didn't actually
That was
see
close.
anything.
Yes, so
Only knows where the Zerg base is, and that's it.
So he attacked a bit, and he got attacked by the Zerglings too long. And by that time, the Queen was already close enough to be able to finish the Reaper, which means no scouting from the Terran player, but a second Reaper is coming.
Second
up.
Reaper's watching at the watchtower, making sure what's up. Zerg's going back. We have Zergling speed on the way.
Yep, and we have Zerg here getting supply blocked at the moment, so making 2 Overlords to compensate for this. And the Terran player floating 300 gas here.
Yeah, with still 6 workers in one of his gas and 3 in the other ones, so that makes not very many workers actually in the mineral lines. This is gonna.
Yes,
This is why the
indeed.
mineral's so low, actually, and why Terran doesn't have his tech up because he cannot afford it, and he's probably wondering what's going wrong because when that happens, you don't necessarily notice it, but it shows in your play. He's trying to win some time with the Reaper, but that's only making him less chance of realizing his earlier mistake, actually.
Yeah, and there we go. So the Reapers are going to try to poke and sees a Queen, sees that there's no third base. So he has a small idea of how his opponent is playing right now. He sees the speed now, and his Reapers are not dead yet. So he gets the scouting info. He's going to scout the lair timing. He's going to know something is up. But however,
those Reaper might not have a way out.
Yes. However, the problem with Terran here is that he did not manage to scout the gas at the expansion of the Zerg.
Did he even see the Roach Warren? Yes, he did see the Roach Warren, but
yeah, but maybe he didn't click
actually
it.
had time to click and see what it is.
Yeah, as far as he knows, the Zerg might be on 4 gases and already making mutas. However, that's not the case. His opponent is going roaches. And
all right, so we have tanks on the way. I think it's the production, yeah, and Stim's coming up. So Terran's trying to build a defense, something to actually wall his front. He has his bunker ready. He's probably expecting Banelings because it's one of the main plays Zergs and these kind of
yeah,
setup.
well, at the very least, the wall can prevent a Ling run-bys. And we see the Zerg. The Zerg probably went pull first to just play safe against his opponent, expecting maybe an 11-11. So now he's going 2 Evo with Hydralisks, which means we're going to see Roach Hydra against Terran. Oh-ho.
Which can actually help against medevac drops and stuff like that. If you can catch them off guard, it's going to be very hurtful for Terran.
Yeah, well, actually, like, Mutalisks are usually more useful, in my opinion, against drops, except, well, of course, to kill the drops once they are dropped, in which case the Hydralisk can target the medevac, which is useful indeed. But I wonder like what the Zerg is expecting from his opponent here, but we see him going on 3 bases, being stable, making Hydralisks, so playing very safe here.
We have +1/+1 for Zerg going on with actually Roach speed.
Yeah, meanwhile the Terran upgrades have not been yet started. I believe that is the first engineering bay that's going to start the first upgrade here for Terran in a few seconds. So it's a biotank build here. So a good old 2011 biotank against.
It's an old build, but it's actually pretty effective.
Yes, yes. Sometimes people like to mix in, not always use mines and use tanks in order to switch it up. And that leaves for, well, it's both are effective against Banelings, very effective against Banelings, but when you push using a timing with upgrades, it can hurt the Zerg, pardon me, very well, especially if the tanks are well placed.
We have a nice spread, creep spread that's going on too. Zerg's on point with it mostly. So Terran's not having any vision. It's gonna get hard for him to actually surprise the Zerg at any point in this. And since Zerg already has 3 bases and could most probably take a 4th very soon because he's way ahead in supply,
yes. Well, we see here both players playing excessively defensive. Zerg on 3 bases is still making Idolesks, while seeing no sign of moving out from the Terran, which is trying to siege on, like, expecting 80 roaches to walk in anytime. But the Terran will probably move out at some point, maybe in a few minutes.
So, we still have no upgrades going on for Terran. Or is it? That's the units.
We have +1. +1 and +1 mech.
So, and +1 mech, so boosting the tank too. Might see some Tors.
Yes, Tors are usually a good mix, especially when you're expecting Mutalisks in this case. But the Terran player here
Zerg's
looks like...
taking his fort already.
Yeah.
There is no macro hatch, however, so this fort's like necessary to
serve as a macro hatch.
With the infestation pit going on, so if we have infestors in the mix, that could hurt too. But that said, on 4 base, Zerg is a huge lead, actually. Yeah, both are defensive. There have been no attack, but I feel like Zerg has a huge lead. Yeah,
indeed. Well, we see Zerg, like, really with that Screep Stride getting the map control, putting those links all around the map. Already he has a good idea of...
Suicided links to actually know if there was a turn. So, but he knows there... Well, he didn't see the other expansion, so there could still be a turn, but he knows there's no turn, and he's on 4 base. He knows he has the economic lead. He just have to play it, wait for Terran to actually go out and counter-attack.
Yes, and meanwhile, the Terran might just be this time to move out with a +1 on both weapons being about to finish, which would in fact be maybe not the best time to move out, because the Zerg opponent, well, starting 2-2 is making a Baneling Nest and is trying to, well, get to higher supply with roaches.
And Screep still spreading out slowly but surely. Now we have the medevacs
actually
full and trying to go around, but Zerg will see it on creep, so with this overload very, very
will the Overlord see it at the corner, maybe?
Yeah,
he sees it.
Depending on how he's on point with his minimap, this pass, it can be
there
missed,
are 8
but now it's going
making.
over the creep, and Zerg knows it's coming. It's a question of, will he react in time? Will he actually...
And he's already sending units into the main. But if the Terran has the time to set up, this can still hurt the Zerg a bit. But oh my god, he's not dropping. The drop is not coming. The Terran player is not looking. They have to retreat. One medevac falling, 2 medevacs falling.
This is a huge loss, and he's trying to come back, but it's too late.
Yes.
Will he go for the third? He might try to attack from both sides, but the Overseer's making sure he sees, decides to kill some creeps so that next time he has an advantage. But that's too late. The Zerg will surround. The medevac's trying to do their best, but there's no lift on this, and tanks didn't go down, but still.
Yes, against these Zerg reinforcements, really, the Terran is forced to back up, really, and the creep spread here again, making sure that the map is controlled by Zerg. Zerg knows what is happening. He's on point on the defense. He has a lot of Roach Hydra, and he has the macro advantage.
And with Speed Hydras, he could hunt those medevac down pretty easily. That's what got them so in such a risky position.
Yep.
Now, Terran's taking his third, but it's already... there's one Marine who actually kills the creep spread at the watchtower, which is very funny.
It's probably Rainbow being like, I am stopping their advance every day, but I see them creeping around me.
Now Zerg actually lost his hiding spot there, but Terran cannot even actually kill it properly because of the rocks.
Of the rocks, yeah, and the way
and the way the map is made. So
yeah, and he's gonna try to siege here, but the Zerg may be pushing.
Zerg. There is actually a third base there. Now he probably knows. He didn't see it, but he knows.
And already we can see the upgrades, 3 ranged upgrades making for Zerg, and he's gonna start the
claws and the Viper building.
Yes,
that's gonna pull out the tank and actually give Zerg a huge advantage.
Yeah, Vipers are especially good against tanks given their ability to stop their attacks all-heartedly. But there we go. Already, like the Zerg losing a few shots against the tanks.
Little old position at the wrong spot, having to move away just to make sure. Actually, I think he could have overwhelmed that easily, but he doesn't know, so he retreated.
But the game is not quite lost here for Terran. He started 2-2. He started +2 attack on the tanks. He's taking his third, and he's probably moved a few SCVs to his third now.
Terran on 3 base can actually do a lot of damage and hold pretty strongly. Zerg is going for Spire, making it a full round tech tree. Actually,
Yes.
it has to be a second Spire because there was a Viper in construction earlier, so it's for upgrades.
Yeah, but as we keep seeing, the Zerg is constant on his creep strat. He's going for double Spire, which means double upgrades on the air, which is probably his late game plan. So he's really taking it slowly, taking progress, one base at a time, and he's expecting to strangle his opponent as time passes by. But will the Terran let him, though? We saw the Terran try a main drop in the main. Maybe that could work this time.
Zerg supply is 30 up, so it's still a big advantage for Zerg, especially since he already has his upgrade and like Zerg Adrenaline Glands just finished.
Yes.
So
and as we can see in the base, we still have the refinery.
And the Crib's so far, Terran's moving on Crib.
Oh, but there we go.
And then the Hydras and
to get
Roach
one
not
medevac.
waiting time. The tank's sieging up.
Tank's sieging up. Is Zerg going to retreat or is he going to move in? He's moving in. He's moving in.
There's moving in. The engagement is going on.
It's 2-2 against 1-1, so the upgrades are really at the advantage of the Zerg.
And there's
he's moving in, but there's not enough
too,
tanks.
and there's not definitely not. Zerg are actually overwhelming everything, and the tanks are falling left and right. There's only
not
one
enough
left.
Tanks.
Not enough tanks,
David.
There's just not enough tanks.
And the timing hit right before 2-2.
Bunker, but still just before 2-2. This is going to be very hard for Terran now.
I think there's not much hope for the Terran here.
Unless of a miracle pull or something. But the SCVs are pulled, trying to deal some damage to actually surround and make the units kill, but no, all the SCVs are now gone.
Everything is
dying. There's not much left.
And 3-3 finishes.
And that's the GG.
Exactly as the GG comes by. And we have our player here, Gregor Ehrenstein, winning 2-1 in his group. So getting I believe, a record of 3-0 in his group and taking the lead in Group 2. So a good candidate here to get out of Group 2. It's going to be interesting to see his next matches. So
watching a second game. It's going to be it's going to be actually your game. So
yes, it looks like
versus Liquid. Mad Sai has Terran and Liquid as Protoss. So the map is Expedition Lost. So isn't that a map that actually has a lot of drop points?
A lot of places to drop. Well, I should look at the map again. I don't really remember by heart.
You can see it in the little
yes.
I can see it on the main screen now.
Yeah, it is a map that's nice to drop on, especially the ability to go between the main and the third. Very useful, except of course if the rocks have been taken out.
Yeah, even if the rocks have been taken out, it gives you a lot of sides to attack from. Sadly, it also gives Protoss a lot of sides to attack from. Yes. But I believe this map actually favors Terran a little because of those points, which Protoss will have a harder time actually.
Yeah, well, it's definitely a map where a Terran player would be comfortable on. There's like the map is pretty much divided into sections, divided by the gap in the center, of course, and the high ground in the center, leaving for flanks. You know, there's less possibilities of flanks since it's less open. And here we see that the Protoss player is going to scout pretty early in this game.
Yeah, we see, like, we didn't present the players, but like in the top right, we have the pink Protoss, which is Liquid.
Yeah, Liquid.
And he
Alexander Weiberg.
Already sent his probe to actually scout, as we can see, the blue Terran in the bottom left. So Jean-Benoît, a.k.a. Mad Sai.
Yes.
All right, so he knows not many things. When you scout this early, you see actually, well, a barrack building, which is standard. Like,
yeah, he's scouting. Well, scouting stellar.
He wanted to go see inside the base. I don't know what it gives him. Maybe gas or detection like this. Because once you've walled off, there's not much Protoss can do until he gets observers.
Yeah, and he doesn't know now if there's a Reaper on the way or if it's going to go for a early 1 racks expand or even, who knows, a 3 racks aggression build, which would be weird against Protoss because it's not very much seen because of the defense given by the mothership.
So we see that little SCV there looking for the hidden pylon, which saw the probes, so could have an idea where the pylon actually went, but
scouting
you didn't send it far enough. So still looking, is going to go toward the base, see that the probe is there, attack it.
What are you doing? It's my turf. Get out, get out.
We have the probe who decides to leave, who was just hanging there, seeing if he could make another pylon or just see if the expansion comes up.
Yes,
so the Reaper's on the way. We can see Terran's going for a standard Reaper Scout start.
Yeah, a very standard opening.
we have the gas already for Protoss with a Zealot on the way, but still no cybernetic core.
Yeah, and still no second gas. So the Protoss here is going to use has already used his resources for 1 or 2 pylons. I believe that's 1 pylon.
SC
and there we go.
Still looking for the proxy pylon, but never finding it, no matter where he goes.
Yes. So the SCV is still lurking about. He says, "I saw some probe around here. Maybe there's something hidden, but not able to find it, alas."
And we have the Reaper going to help. He's like, useless SCV. You didn't see anything. I gotta check the relevant part, which is third base. But he doesn't find anything either.
Yes, and we see here the CC making on the low ground for the Terran there. So
so Reaper just missed the probe actually going to the watchtower. Well, no, it turns. So the probe was just walking around, looking what's up. We have the CC for Terran going up. So standard expansion, pretty standard. We have the core now up. That Reaper could be very annoying, considering there is no Stalker for...
but the Mothership core is soon to come. So already 1 probe is falling to the Reaper. So the Reaper harass is going to be tried here. Maybe two probes.
Yeah,
two probes are going to be
fall
given,
down. The Reaper trying to outrun the Mothership core, which he
and then the
Reaper
wants to find what is up, because there's resources missing at this point. So he's trying to see where have those resources gone, because no nexus was made, and we see the resources being made into the Twilight
Console.
Yeah, the Twilight Console is found.
A
so
third probe is gonna fall.
A first base, and
and maybe even a fourth, but that the Stalker overstayed is welcome. That's actually a big loss for Terran, especially considering there was no Stalker. He could easily have made it out.
Yes, indeed. He could have made it out, but he still managed to get the intel and 3 probes. So against this, the Terran knows that his opponent is going for either Blink or Dark Shrine.
So bunker's still at the front, so I'm surprised he didn't make the bunker down the ramp to actually protect the expansion. You expected early attack. That's because you didn't see the minerals spent or what went on and expected the early push.
Counting the Protoss base that early, if something feels amiss, sometimes Terran or I feel safer to build
and now we can see the Dark Shrine on the way. Is there any detection for Terran except for the scan? There's a turret in the main, so actually, and two CCs, so it's actually pretty safe for Terran. You can, when the DTs are there, if you're on point, there is no risk. Terran can actually scan or just protect his SCVs. Yeah,
and we see Terran here moving out, trying to see around like what's up, if there's any proxy pylons. So Terran being really overly safe around his base.
Overly paranoid of pylons and never finding the only one that there is.
Indeed.
Now Protoss actually finally took his expansion too. It's a little late, but since he was going fast DTs, it's kind of normal. You want to keep your cash to actually do the huge warp-in, which is going to come pretty soon. There's a turret at the expansion, so not sure how that will pan out.
Yeah, so there's a turret making in between the barracks, and there's the turret making at the expansion. So the Terran here really playing overly safe, expecting death to come at every corner. Meanwhile, the Protoss is a bit down on supply because of his early DTs that are yet to pay.
DTs are there. Oh, but the DTs actually go for the rocks, which means they will not fall for the turret at the front where the army is and the bunkers.
Yes, indeed. But does the Terran see? Does the Terran see the rock being hit?
So far, it seems like no, there is no reaction. He sees it.
There's no reaction.
He could see hit, but I don't think he knows. Oh, the Marines are moving, so no, they're just moving to protect the CC, so they're not actually seeing anything.
Oh, but there we go.
There we go. There is, but there's no detection. They're moving towards the turret, and one of the DTs went down, but he's going for the minerals. But there's one in the main.
There's one in the main. It's a trap.
So it's a trap. One of the DTs go down. This is very expensive for Protoss. And second one goes down. Third one's trying to move around, but he's gonna fall in the bunker and just
gets around
between two turrets, which are well placed to actually cover anything. No damage done by those DTs.
And we see already here the Protoss linking up. There's 2 more DTs being warped here next to the main of the Terran player.
This is a huge loss for Protoss. Like, DTs are so expensive, you want to do at least a little damage with this. He's going back in, probably expecting Terran to actually feel safer and not go, but since
he's able to kill a CCV, a depot.
a depot, which is going to pay a little for it, but it's mineral against gas, and Zerg needs the gas, and he's moving out again.
Needs the gas, yes.
Yeah, Protoss needs the gas. And he's moving out again, trying to get the tower, but the SCVs are on point to protect it, and that's just 2 more dead Templars.
Yeah. However, the SCVs mining was delayed.
Templars. The mining was delayed a little bit, but...
And the SCVs are not mining gas, and also the second engineering bay has not been restarted. So this is going to be
the fact that all
delayed.
the SCVs were pulled actually cost gas. Now we have Terran saying no more DTs going in from there. He's doing turret at the entrance. There are turrets everywhere. Yes. But then with no gas at the expansion and only 1 SCV per gas in the main, that makes the gas of Terran being very low. Unless he's going only Marines, there's going to be an issue soon.
So what's your opinion, David, as a DT rusher? What's your opinion on how this DT rush was executed and how well it went?
From my point of view, I mean, the fact that it actually blocked the gas of Terran for a while could save him. It did some damage by accident, but otherwise there was no real damage dealt, and that was like, what, 5 DTs, which is 100 per DT is like 750. That's a huge loss of minerals for very, very little result. So it went pretty poorly, but as you said earlier, Terran went overly defensive. Well, not overly defensive, but overly crazy with turrets. He was scared of DTs. He knew there was something up. He made the defense. So those DTs should actually have gone back and be used for expansion and defense.
And now, have you ever seen this move here after failing the DT, going for double Robo Bay? What unit could possibly come out of those buildings?
He said there was a load of Marines, and since there's no gas, it's actually going to be pretty effective. But the Colossus will not be there in time, since the Terran army is already moving out.
Yeah, so we have
there
here
are
1
cannons
sentry
and a few sentries. So how will this go? There's Terran moving in, and then but they're going as a train. So yeah, 2 Marines, 1 Marauders. They're moving out, so they're not assigning themselves the cannons. But there was a stim though, and there is no medevac, probably because there was no gas. Those Marines checking for turrets, making sure they're not too much behind, because, well, Terran knows he did a lot of damage, but he doesn't know what Protoss did the rest of the time.
Yeah, and we see Terran here. Maybe he's going to poke again at the front. There's 1 DT on the map, but not at home being there to defend.
And he's coming back to defense. Terran's actually moving in, trying to deal a little damage, but he's just losing to a photon cannon and doesn't even kill it, so... Well, he's trying to bring back the game to an even state. I'm sorry. I know it's your game. So we see Protoss actually going for upgrades. So leg speed and +1 will actually help. I don't think Terran has any upgrades up.
Yeah, and Terran here is supply blocked at the moment, and the engineering base still hasn't been restarted here.
Now
so
Terran's scanning, making sure there's no DTs. Well, where there was none. Oh, we actually sniped 1.
Yeah, managed to snipe the DT that was guarding the front of the Rams.
Interesting.
Barely getting that range. The DT feeling safe, but no, alas.
Protoss making sure there's no turrets, but Terran making sure there's no proxy pylon actually killing the probe. Well,
he's gonna kill it.
He's gonna hide in the bush, but
there we go. He scouted. No hope for that little probe trying to hide behind the tree. He's not gonna see.
Now we don't have any Colossus yet. 1 in production, but it's not there. The first unit was made with an Immortal, which is very useful against the Terran who goes Marauder, which is what Terran's doing. So it's gonna be pretty interesting. Game's is far from over, actually.
Yeah, and we see here the Terran
finally found the pylon. There's mines there, which could help because there is no... Well, there is an observer on the way, but there is no detection prior to this point. So mines can actually be very, very annoying in these kind of spots. Yeah. There's 1 worker here who's holding his gas to the Colossus, saying, "You cost gas, I'm going to bring some to you." Doesn't know how it works, but... Well, we have a DT actually checking the turret, which is actually very good. This is pretty annoying for Terran. That said, the turret's at the other spot. So, well, he needed 2.
Yes, and we see here the Terran being comfortable moving out, so he knows the Protoss has not moved out. He knows the Protoss is going, well, for some Colossi, and he's keeping the Protoss inside his base.
Still not finished building, which, oh no, yeah, they are. And they healed the units, but there's a few units at the front which actually could use the healing.
Yes, and here we see a scan. Maybe Terran is going to move in, and there we go.
Moving in.
The Terran is going to move in.
Actually, the Colossus, no reaction.
No stim yet. No stim,
so
only
moving back, trying to lure units out. Getting a sentry, that's a huge deal. Sentry's not doing much. The Colossus finally going into the fray.
Force field here, but
actually
force
casting a lot of units out, but it's also for
yeah, and the Mothership Core's health is dropping, and there we go, it goes down.
Mothership Core's die, which
but already a lot of
yielding,
units have been killed.
Yeah, on both sides, but disadvantages Terran because they're so less expensive. There's a mine there who's just gonna be a pain for anything moving out and trying to do a kill. That said, what's moving out is actually a DT who's actually going to, I'm just gonna kill stuff and move away.
It looks like he was spotted, however, and now the Marauders are gonna go and try to kill
the DT with the concussion shell, making it sure it doesn't run away. And actually, no, Terran's doesn't have that much stuff at the entrance, just enough to actually monitor what's going on.
Yeah, and we see here the Terran like macroing behind, but he's not supply block this time. But the third
base still not being very used, but with the drop on the other side, is winning the time he needs. But there are a few Colossus on the way, though.
Yeah,
and I see no Vikings for Terran.
Yeah, there seems to be no Viking production for the Terran, so it's still going for bio against well, a Colossus-based army. However, the supply of the Terran is really at an advantage, and it's going 3 base against 2, so the Terran is very comfortable here.
We have the Observer, though, so when it's going to count. We have the Scan, knowing there's nothing up, so I expect the drops to actually move in. And to actually try and snipe the Colossus.
The drops are, it seems, not moving in, so that was a scout.
It decides just gonna look what's going on, not moving there, not risking anything until I have an army at the front to actually attack on both sides, which is also a safe play. The DT actually missed from not a lot the army moving in, which could have warned him of what was up.
Yeah, and here we see the Terran just finished 2-2, so the timing is probably gonna be hit here at the entrance of the Protoss. Yeah, the 3-3 is starting.
But Protoss already 2-1, however, so there is an advantage, but it's not that huge.
Yes. So the Protoss here macroing up.
Almost done with another Colossus. Now, we expect drops coming from everywhere. The idea here is to actually split the Protoss on every side, which is pretty strong in general, because panic starts fast when there is everything dying everywhere. That said, with that many cannon at the entrance, that little army that's left might not be able to push by itself. If the big army goes to the main and the Mothership Core actually chrono the expansion, it is defensible.
Yeah, but the Protoss here is macroing on 2 bases. Does he have an observer to know where the Terran is up?
He has an observer, but it's with the army, so he doesn't know what the Terran's up to. He doesn't know he's behind on the economy. He doesn't know he can come out. He's fearing an attack, but the attack's not coming.
Yeah, and so Terran here not moving into the Colossi army. Could drop in the main here, so we see, is that a drop? A pylon dying. Well, the pylon got killed maybe by cannons in order to make space for some units here. But we see the supply already kind of balanced. The supply Terran's here is equalized.
To equalizing. There's a scan. The army moves out, actually giving Terran an opportunity to move in while there's no army outside. This could actually turn very ugly for Protoss if he moves farther away.
Yeah, however, so the Protoss observer moving ahead.
He's just killing one, moving out, staying safe. There's a fort for Terran, however, so even if Protoss wins this battle...
but there we go, the double drop going into the main.
But there's no entrance. What's Protoss doing?
And Protoss is attacking, is trying to go for the base trade.
He's going for the base trade, actually. Yes, that's correct. The Mothership Core fell, so nothing survived on the Protoss side. So there's no defense.
Yeah,
and the main will die to this. The main is defense. There is, however, detection. So the mines don't defend that much. There's a little defense here who tried to kill the army, but it just got slaughtered by the Colossus.
The turret, so all of the Terran's economy is getting killed at the moment, and there's not enough reinforcements to be able to kill this army of 5 Colossi.
Since the rocks are already down, the army is going to go in the main and actually kill the production too. This is actually, the army of Protoss is actually bigger now than the army of Terran.
Yeah, and we see units, Terran units dying, probably DT slashing at the units in the main.
Mines did a good hit, but there's detection, so it will be the only good hit.
Yeah, and there's only a few units remaining for the Terran.
Actually,
managed to kill the Dark Shrine.
I don't know what happens to Observer, but it's gone. So the army's on a mine. This could actually save the Terran.
Yeah, but only one mine. What can one mine do against such a big Protoss army?
There was 2 mines earlier, but one just died, and the DT is actually going to kill themselves, trying to see what's up.
Yeah, and the Terran is
out.
trying to remaster his forces here. He can't quite engage the Protoss yet. He's still making damages in the main of the Protoss, but the supply is now 135 to 105.
And there is no
in the
more
advantage
production
of the
for
Protoss.
Terran, so he has to defend with what he has. There is like 2 barracks up that can do much.
And we
You
see
can
one ghost making...
Protoss actually made a hidden expansion, trying to like commit to the base race, saying like, I kill you, you kill me, we'll see like what stays at the hand.
And so did Terran right beside the Protoss expansion, so it might come down to whoever's army comes there first.
Totally, and it's going to help to defend and attack at the same time.
But there we go, the Terran engages.
The Terran engages, the Colossus are a little stuck. There is one Viking, however, but it's not enough for that many stalkers. The Protoss, however, is stuck in the ramp, doesn't dare to go out because it doesn't know how many units the Terran has. Oh, finally moving the Colossus. The army's
killing
fighting,
a few stalkers. Yeah, moving in, moving out.
The mines, not the mines, sorry, the missile turret was preventing the Colossus from actually moving farther
However,
outside.
a lot of damage was dealt.
So much damage was dealt. Actually, I feel like Protoss could go back to his main and defend what's left of it, and he'd be in great shape.
Yeah, but there's no main, however.
Oh,
like,
that's
what's
correct.
left of it is not
no
much.
left, so he should go to his actually new base and defend what's left of it. Protoss army is bigger, there's no more mines, there's no more detection for Terran. Is there a DT?
Yeah, is there maybe there's one remaining DT? Looks like no, there is no DT, and the Dark Shrine died, so there's no.
So
there's
it's fine.
no.
Terran's fine on that front because this could kill him. That said, Protoss actually expands on opposite sides, so it's going to give him an advantage. Like Protoss, but that base was found, but then Terran found the Protoss base. So
so now Terran has the advantage of the info. The Protoss doesn't know where the Terran base is, but the Terran knows. So will he get there first? Will he manage to
actually
be able to get the mothership has to go back, and there we go, gets a hit. Not quite kills the mothership.
Needs to save a few probes to actually go elsewhere because Terran's going to drop in that base. That base being found.
And the Protoss army.
Protoss army, it's not moving. It's not there. It's not there. It finds a few SCVs, but there's the photon overshot. Will it kill the medevac with no life? No, it targets otherwise. And then mothership core falls. The probes are trying to move away. They need to flee, but no, Terran won't have it. And there's nothing.
How many buildings left for Protoss?
Oh, there's a few pylons left at the other base. Protoss is moving. Found the army. Knows, but he GG'd.
And he GG's.
And he GG's. Does he leave? You have a base left? It's not rebuilding base. Yes, the Terran has a base left. And
there we go.
GG, but that... Wow.
Yeah, so how many buildings were left for Terran at that point? Let's look. We'll see. There was probably the 2 command centers.
Wow.
Where there more...
I feel almost disappointed because Protoss had not lost this game. Totally not. Like, he asked if there was a base, meaning
there was a supply depot somewhere on the map. A supply depot hidden, probably, or just here. Yeah,
there's
here,
one pylon. No, Terran has only one base, and it's not mining. It doesn't have any production, so it's he doesn't really have one base.
And there was enough. We see that we have 2 probes for Protoss, so he had enough to remake a base and make air units in order to kill the buildings if the buildings were floated.
He could just have defended his base or found it and killed it.
However, there was only 1 pylon left, and the pylon might have been found by the Terran in 1 minute from this moment.
Yeah, but if the probes moved away and built, let's say, in the bottom right corner an XI, and the actual army just scouted to find a Terran base, I believe, actually, Protoss quitted early on this one.
Yes, it would have been very close to see this game finished, but it seems like the Protoss GG'd, and so there we go.
So, well, game goes to Matsai. I think you won the entire best of 3.
Yeah, this was game 1 of the 2 games. Are we going to play another game? Yeah. It looks like we still have a bit of time here, so we're going to go in another game with 2 new players.
So this time it's going to be PVT. So we actually saw almost every match. No, that's the second PVT. So sorry, not almost saw every matchup. We're missing the Zerg one. Zerg versus Protoss, I mean. So in the bottom right corner, we have Rabbit, a blue Protoss.
Yes. And in the top left, we have as a pink Terran, Amen.
So, Rabbit was in the Montreal tournament, I believe. So, it's Matthias.
So Rabbit is Matthias Arons. So, he's a platinum level player, managed to get to the round of 8 in Montreal.
He's pretty good, and he's actually the guy who's helping us with the visual of the game, so the observers. So, big cheer of applause for Matthias, who's a great guy.
Yes, and in the top left we have, I believe oh, I don't want to pronounce his name wrong. I believe it's Rishev Jadav. Rishev Jadav.
I'm not even going to try it, sorry.
Another player here from Ubisoft Pune. So it's a diamond level Terran here, so like the highest ranked player in that group. So we should see interesting games here, diamond against platinum.
So we can see, so the Terran is diamond, so he's at a little advantage. We just saw Terran actually beat a Protoss barely, so maybe we're going to see something like it again. Maybe not, who knows? I have no idea how this game goes.
Yeah. So we see here the Terran starting with barracks and already the gas, so it's probably going to go a standard Reaper expand. Not walling here at the expansion, so not expecting any kind of two gate rush or something like that.
Gas already up for Protoss, so standard opening, nothing all that cheesy so far. There's the scout, which is a little better timed because he's going to actually see that there's a gas up, might be there to see if it's a Reaper who's going out or if like there's going to be an add-on.
Yeah, but we see here the early scouting here from the Protoss.
Sees there's no expansion so far.
Yep.
Comes, gonna see there's not two gas up, gonna find the gas. Gonna see the barracks barely, and he's gonna move out and actually run after
probably
the SCV.
go back to mining or to place some pylon. Maybe
go back home.
Looks like a standard opening here from our two players and going for
Terran's
the forge.
checking for the proxy pylon, which so far does not exist, but he's moving in the same direction as the probe, so
that's an
might
early
actually
forge.
find it.
That's an early forge though from Protoss,
which is actually a pretty nice defense from Protoss, because there's so many Terran nowadays who actually attacks early to actually to actually harass and take advantage of the fact that the Protoss army is much more expensive. So Terran tends to want to trade early in the game. The forge will allow Protoss to actually defend. As we saw last game, it worked.
Oh, to make a cannon here at the ramp.
This, however, is a little strange because it kind of prevents you from actually expanding. Now we have a gas with no workers in it either.
Yeah,
so
and there goes the Reaper. The Reaper is there, gonna try to get the first
stalker, no zealot.
There's only a cannon. There's only a cannon and
no zealot. And a few
the zealot has been made. The zealot is trying to get by, but this
is too far, and it's still. This Reaper did kill one probe. Might kill another one.
He's gonna get so many kills. He can kill the zealot, and then like there's another zealot making.
But the zealot actually dealt damage, so it's gonna help. But will he kill a second probe? No, it's trying. And he says, I almost killed one. I need to kill it. It's moving inside. And then he gets the second, and also got the probes to move to try and kill it, which is huge because it's stopped them from working for a few seconds.
But and now it looks like the Terran, in order to go back to macroing, remove the Reaper from the base, which is going to be able to Protoss to have a bit of a pause here. Yeah. Because that Reaper otherwise could have killed the Zealot, the next Zealot, and then more probes. However,
and
looks
now
like
we
a proxy
have
pylon
the Stalker, no, it's a Zealot under production. We have the proxy pylons building. So Terran's expanding. I feel Terran has a slight advantage at the moment, but still very, very tight. Very, very... the aggression did not pan out that much.
Yeah.
We have the second Zealots who came. Now the core is there, so we might have a Stalker starting to actually deal with that that Reaper. Zealots actually going the right place, and there's cannons.
Oh,
that was probably there to prevent the drop, actually, but it will get the Reaper, who has to retreat, who cannot do much.
Yeah, those
two
cannons
Zealots
are good
moving out, and two Stalkers are now building behind it.
So the Protoss here is going for it seems an aggressive opening here against the his Terran opponent, and making a proxy Stargates.
And the Zealots are going to arrive just like the bunker is building, and will actually prevent the bunker.
Now, what does the Terran have? He still has
the Reaper going back, but he's too far away. So
and
there's
we have four
Marines who can actually deal with Zealots. But they need to be macroed.
He needs to move in. He
got the lift, so he's winning sometimes for the expansion.
We go. So the Marines are going to try to attack and micro away.
Oh, but only
one Marine is getting killed already.
Which is huge because Protoss cannot kill him.
Oh, the Terran has reinforcements though, but the other Marines not attacking.
Two Marines fall. Two Marines.
Yes.
I mean, it's not that huge because he lost his two Zealots.
Oh, but it looks like a Stargate.
Defended. Stargate is finished. Oracle is starting, so it's a rocket play that we're going to see.
Yeah,
and Terran does not have turrets. And actually, even with Marines, Oracles can do a lot of damage, and 2 Marines died. You have to remember that.
However, the turret is making
The turret is on the way, so might not be... the timing might not be correct for this one. But the Stalkers are here, gonna poke at the entrance, gonna see what's up, gonna go back because, well, they cannot kill everything. The Oracle, however, is moving in and is gonna...
Be able to kill an SCV maybe, but he sees the mineral line.
He kill one SCV, moves away, and gonna kill a second SCV. And then the army wanted to hope the bio would move in, but it didn't. So that was just a little of the army suicided itself. But the Oracle might have done a few kills.
Yes, but we see here the supply. So during that time, both players were microing. However, we see the Terran growing really has now a big supply advantage, almost doubling the supply. The Terran doubles the supply of his opponent. So the macro beginning has
now
kicked
we have the Oracles who's going to do a few more kills. We're at 5, 6 kills right now.
And the turrets are not finished.
6 kills for that. Was moving, trying to see if he can kill stuff.
Yeah, and he could get those depots here.
But he doesn't have any energy at the moment, so he's just going to hang there, wait to be annoying, and come back. This is actually forcing the Terran to stay in his base, so he couldn't, allowing the Protoss to macro behind, making his expansion, harvesting, but then Terran decides, no, I'm moving out anyways.
Yeah, it looks like the Terran is going to move out on the map.
But again, the cannons will help in this, in this
cannons
situation.
Being used for defense here by the Protoss player. This is very particular. So defending the front, but the Terran has more than the cannons can hold. However, maybe some warp-ins could help defend against the impending attack here. We see 3 cannons defending.
The SCV scouted's gonna die, and will this stop the turn? Actually, yes, it scared the Terran away.
But there's 4 gates now.
But Terran's gonna go see for the turn instead.
Yeah, and gateways are gonna probably be able to warp a few units here.
Yeah, 2 stalkers up, and this time that the Protoss actually won with those cannons might actually save him from this incoming attack.
But Stim is seconds from finishing now, and we also see
Terran does not have gas in his expansion. Neither does Protoss, however.
Yeah, so Terran here is really kicking in for the macro. There's a bit floating a bit of minerals here, but using it for a 3rd CC. Meanwhile, the Protoss is concentrated on defending. He has a few stalkers. He probably has the mothership core in order to defend the Nexus, but not enough energy, it looks like, on that mothership core.
Yeah, but at the same time, with the cannons and the stalkers, the Terran needs reinforcement if he wants to attack now. The opportunity he could attack earlier is gone, and since the map is it's not huge, but it's kind of far, there's not another attack coming just yet.
So David, tell me, what did you do in this situation as the Protoss player?
DTs. No. I'm kidding. No, seriously, what I would do, I would try to do go for Colossus to actually defend and take my turn. You want as Protoss take your turn. As Protoss, he doesn't know he's that far behind, although he is. But you've seen no medevac, so you want to start Colossus production, force something up, and while you do that, you can actually expand. Maybe harass with that. Maybe harass with the Oracle, which has been hanging, not doing much. Yeah, send this observer I've just saw to actually see what's up. Try to take the lead. Now, that's unfortunate because I was gonna say you can also try to throw in a few in later game, a few stuff from the Stargate carriers or Tempest. I was meaning.
Would you make carriers from that proxy Stargate, David?
Tempest. I would. if it's not been scouted, of course.
Yes, of course.
Not carriers, but because they're too slow.
Oh, but we see here the Terran was probably waiting. He already has Stim, and his +1 just finished, so maybe we're going to see an attack.
Maybe we're going to see, but you have to consider that from that point, if the Stargate had not fallen, the Tempest can actually do a lot of damage and be safe from anything trying to kill it, except Vikings, of course.
Yes, but no Vikings are being made at the moment. However,
now the Terran army, with the upgrades, has grown bigger, and since there's still no Colossus up, this is pretty scary. The scan goes there. We have a photon overcharge.
Yeah, photon overcharge was done in time, so
that was done in time. Although I would have gone for the time bomb.
Yeah, but
trying to target the medevac instead of the units. There's so much bio. There's cannons behind, but it's not enough. The probes are being pulled, but they're gonna just get stuck there. The probes are dying. You cannot kill that Terran army
lining up, the peasants lining up in an army to defend the land.
We have the GG.
Not enough. And it is good game. So we see here Rishikev, I believe, winning the game here against his Protoss opponent. He wins game 1, and I believe the final score was 2-1, 2-0, 2-1. So Yashef here moving in, and he's going to face his next opponent. So maybe we're thinking of maybe casting this next week, playing against an opponent from Ubisoft Bucharest. Another Platinum player.
So we remind you, everyone, that we're going to be casting games every Monday, or at least trying to every Monday at noon. From the tournaments, we're trying to pick up the most interesting, the most fun for you guys.
Yep. So tell us if there's anything interesting.
If you're one of the players, send your replays, and if you have one that's good, tell us, because we don't always have time to watch them all, so we pick. And, well, when someone says this game is good, there's more chance we actually watch it and decide if it's picked. So tell us, send your replays, and
that's gonna be it.
We'll see you next week.
Yeah, see you next week. Tune in.
Yo, yo, yo.